Hi friends, this is Ganesh and video number 17 on ABAP. So in this session, I'm going to explain some additions of an internal table. So that is frequently used in any kind of ABAP program. So I just plan to take two different concepts which we are going to apply on any kind of internal table. Okay. So the first one, it's like data manipulation. So I'm going to explain how to add a data, how to modify your data, and how to modify or delete the data from your internal table. So here the terminology internal table is contains work area and body of an internal table. So there are two parts. Already we have explained in the first video. It may be a work area or it may be an inbuilt header line. So header line and body. So there are two portions I can say. And control break statements. Okay, so how we can control the data based on our business requirement inside your internal table. It's nothing but inside the body of an internal table. So control break statement is applicable for body of an internal table, not for work area. Okay, so most of the additions is applicable for body because it contains more than one data. Work area is very less because it hold only one record at a time. So very few options are available, how to clear, how to add, how to get the data from body to work area to body. So that's it. And most of the additions are applicable only for body because it contains more data. Okay, so let's see one by one. So the first part, I'm going to add a data to a work area. So this is a work area, it can have only one record. This we have seen in the last video itself. And this is a way to add the data to your work area. And this is a way to clear it. Suppose you want to clear the entire work area, all the three fields. Okay, so that you can use clear and the work area name. Suppose if you want to clear a specific field of a work area, you have to use work area hyphen field name. So here I'm clearing the two fields of a work area. So work area hyphen field 1 comma work area hyphen field 2. So there are more than one statement. If you're using any keyword, you need a chain operator. So here I used colon. Here I didn't use colon because I used only one statement for this particular keyword. And the most of the options are coming for your body of an internal table. So body can have more than one record. So here the options are I want to add the data to the body of an internal table directly, means manual entry. So what I can do is I need help of the work area. So you can't add, especially manual entry I'm talking about. So manually, if you want to add data, you can't do it body directly. So you need the work area. So add the data to the work area. Either you can do append or insert or modify and delete. So these are the options you're able to use it over here. So here, append, insert, modify needs the help of work area to add a record, or again insert and append is also doing the same. We'll give the difference and modify the record in your body of an internal table. But delete, it works both the ways. It sometimes depends on the place where you're using. It needs the help of work area. Sometimes it will delete the record directly from the body of an internal table. So that is the specialty of delete. And these are the three different keywords which we are using to delete the information from your body of an internal table. So clear, refresh, and free. So we'll see a little later about little detail about these three keywords, and I'll tell you what is the difference between delete and these three keywords as well. Okay. And the syntax will work like this. So append work area to body. So and then insert work area into body. So the difference between append and insert is append is always add the data at the end of your body of an internal table. Okay, the internal table has 1000 records. If you say append, it will add the 1001th index or the position. But insert will help you to add the data anywhere in the body of an internal table. So out of 1000 records, I want to add in the first line, third line, or I want to add 900 line, whatever it is. So you can make use of the index and you can place the record wherever you want based on the business requirement. That is the difference between append and insert. And modify, you can modify the existing record. So modify the body from the work area. So based on the value of the work area, your body of an internal table content will change. And delete. So delete body index. So based on the index, I want to delete. So I already mentioned based on the place where you are using the delete. I'm using the delete inside the loop. So everything is inside the loop. So inside the loop, if you want to delete the record, then I have to use index concept. In an example, I will show you how the site tabx will work. Okay, so whenever you see a field starts with sy hyphen or syst hyphen, that is called a system variable. Okay, it's like default values. It will give any language. If you take, I want a current date, current time. So for that, in languages they call it as library function, or what do you call the system fields. So same way in ABAP also we are using a system variable or system field which gives the values at the runtime. So here I'm going to use site tabx. I will give you an example of site tabx. And delete body where condition. So this will work out of the loop, meaning all the four will do only one record: append one record, insert one record, modify one record at a time. I'm saying delete one record, but here delete body where condition. So this will delete more than one record at a time. Okay, so that is the difference between this delete body index and then delete body where condition. So that is the two options which can perform by delete keyword. And then, okay, control break statements. Maybe I will give an example for till this for data manipulation in the system. Then we'll go to control break statements. Let me take you to the system. And this is my system, and this is actually S4 HANA system. So I thought I can just explain the new syntax on the flow, so you don't want to spend some different or additional time to learn it. So once you start learning the ABAP, you can learn normal ABAP syntax as well as the new one. So it's very simple. So I'm going to start with select with the new way of syntax. And sometimes it might be give a syntax error based on your version. So whenever you're getting a syntax error for the new kind of select statements or loop or read, so make sure you don't have the particular version to use the new syntax. Okay, so here I'm going to use select from MARD. This is my line 1. You can have everything in a single line, but for easy reference I'm going to keep line by line. And the second line I'm going to introduce a keyword called fields. So this will give some additional or easy way to pick your fields. If you say control space bar, it will show you what might be or what is possible in the next level, or what are the next keywords or functions you can add it over here, and it will display all the fields as well from the table. Here the table I used is MARD, so it just display all the fields along with other functionalities as well. And if you see the blue icon, it represents fields, and you can find some other as well. So here this is actually a system variable. You can use a system variable, and this is all some additional function, absolute functions. If you want, you can use it. So that is the advantage of the new syntax. And if you keep the cursor, it will give one second. It will give what is the field, what is the technical aspects of the field, some description about the field. So it's an easy way to understand. Normally it won't take much time because this is a remote system. That's why it takes some time. Otherwise, if you keep the select a particular field in the very next pop-up window, you are able to see entire technical aspects of your field. So this is a structure component. So this is not a field. So let me go down, and this is a field. And you can start typing it if you know some starting letter of your fields which you're looking for, then it will display those things over here. So I'm looking for MATNR. So okay, so it shows, okay, MANDT. What is MANDT? This is a client, and type is MANDT, and you have max function, MATNR, and MERD. This is a different one. Okay, this is the entire table. So based on the icon, you'll able to see it. So I need Matners, and I want works, and I need LGORT, and I need LABST. So LABST is an unrestricted stock field. Okay, so second line is for fields, and third line, so do you need any where condition? Okay, so currently I'm not going to have any where condition, so I'm not going to use it. So third line is always for your where conditions. And the fourth line, the final line, is going to be the destination where you're going to keep your data. So I want to keep my data into my internal table. So this is one of the way to declare your internal table on the flow. So this will decrease many number of declaration lines. So normally in the previous examples, I have created with some types and create a structure, create a work area and create a body. So in the new syntax on the flow, you can declare your internal tables with the help of at symbol and data. So into IT, I'm going to say this is MAT material. Okay. So it's the same way it just declared these four fields inside this body of an internal table because I used into table. If you say into, then it could be a work area. Okay. So now the first thing I'm going to show you loop at material into. So here I'm going to declare my work area. Sorry, you don't want to use at symbol. At symbol you have to use only in the select statement because you have to say to the database, because select is going to be used only in your database layer. So database layer should understand the database fields, database object. Here it is a table, and this is not a database object. IT material is not a database object, or I can say variable, whatever it is. So we need to give an proper communication to the database saying that this is not your field. So don't try to find out IT material in your database layer. This is for application layer. So that is the meaning of your at symbol. Okay. And that's why in a loop statement, you don't want to use at symbol because this is not a select. This loop is going to execute in my application layer itself. So I don't want to use any at symbol, but I need to use data is a keyword. Okay, so if you're more interested to learn this new syntax, please refer my ABAP and HANA videos. I'll give all kind of new syntax, how to write and everything. Okay, so here I introduce very small ones. So on the flow, you will also learn it along with the ABAP. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify my data wide open. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my unrestricted stock is 20 for all my data. Okay, and I'm going to modify it. So modify, the syntax would be modify your body. What's a body name? IT underscore material from the work area. So what happens? It just updates all the record with the value 20 for your unrestricted stock field. Let me have a breakpoint, then I'll show you in the debugging mode. Okay, let me execute it. Okay, let me have a breakpoint here. Because before modify, we should know what is the values over there. IT material, that's double click. So you have 775 data and then double click. So it will take on the flow declaration, right? It will take the fields what you have chosen for from the particular table. So Matner works, LGO, AT and LABST. Okay, so here it is. This is the data which I got from MERD table, and LABST is all empty. I believe it's all empty. I don't know whether there is some data. Yeah, there are some data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify all the records value of LABST. So go back and F5 one by one. So what is the value here? Initially it's 0. Now it's modified by 20 in the work area level, not in the body. Okay, just it's modified only in the work area. Now before press F5, let me go into the body. So I'm going to press F5 now. Now LAB, oh sorry, it's in the first record. Go up. Yeah, so the first record is getting 20. I'm going to keep pressing F5. So loop is going in the desktop 3 window. So let's keep on updating. 20 in second row, 20 in third row, 20 in fourth row, 20 in fifth row. So let's keep on updating because of the loop. So go back to your desktop 3 tab, and so it's keep on executing it. So I'm going to execute full execution, and it's going and stops in 21 because I have a static breakpoint. Just execute full execution, and now if you get into the body, it's update everything. Okay, all the things you have 20 only. It's updated the existing value which has a value. The field, some record has a value, it updated that as well because it's wide open modification. Normally we won't do this. So now what I'm going to do is, let me have some conditions. Based on the condition, I'm going to modify it. Let me get some values from here. So maybe if the plant is AG, okay, let me go with the multiple values like YZ01 and okay, AG also there is somewhere. AG01, okay. So if it is plant is this and modify my unrestricted stock with the different value. So I have need an if condition. You can go with if or case. If my plant equal AG01, then I want this as 10. Else if my material plant, you can have and or, depends on your requirement. The same if condition is going to be 30, okay, 20. You can have between as well. So now I'm going to say my, what is that? LABST, unrestricted stock, between 100 and 200. So this is just a sample. Okay, so LBST is equal to 30. I want to show you how to use between and everything. So else material LABST is equal to 40. Okay, so do this one. I don't want this. Let me comment it. So based on this condition, my entire loop will work and modify the internal table. So let's see. Execute. So IT material 775 and just double click. Just press F5. The value was 1710. So it won't happening for first three. So it directly comes to else part. So now the value of the particular unrestricted stored in the field as the particular record as 40. So let's keep on executing it, and once if you want to know when this works is YZ01, when this particular line is executed, then keep a breakpoint for that particular line and press F5. Whenever there is a value of works satisfies this condition, your control comes and stops here. Okay, this is a little bit small debugging techniques. Now it stops here. Okay, so now the plant is YZ01 and what is the value? 0. Now it's getting 20. So let's keep on executing it. So I want to come out of it. So let me take this breakpoint out. Otherwise, it's keep on come and stops there. And full execution, expecting it stops in the static breakpoint. It's done. So double click. So we're able to see 40 over here and different values. So the best way to see or modify, not modify, to understand the values of debugging mode, go and do the table display, table ALV display. So just click this. Once you get into the body of an internal table, click the service tool icon and come here and just click table display in ALV. So here I want to know, okay, I need to just filter it, who is 20. The record is 20. So it displayed what are the values, it's updated with 20. The same way if you want to add, if you want to change the filter, yes, you can change with the different values as well. So different fields also you can add it. So set filter, yes, I want to set a filter. So I want the works as well. Continue. Oops, I didn't mention the values, sorry. Set filter, I want works and define values. So here 20 and I have to say some values. Okay, YZ01 and press continue. So this way is very easy to understand more with help of ALV display in the debugging mode. Okay, so I explained very clearly in the debugging video. So if you want to understand the debugging process or concept, please go through that videos as well. then exit. I'm good with this. Come out of my debugging concept or debugging mode. Okay, so now the second thing is I want to modify um, based on some index. Okay, it's very rare scenario we are going to use it, and I'll introduce a small system variable called site tabx. Let me execute it first. So index is nothing but every record has its own index. Okay, so I have 775, so 775 record has its own index. So here is a row number, it's nothing but you can consider as an index. So index for the first record is 1 and index for the 11th record is 11. Okay, and we have a system variable called sy_tabx. So here you can see this is one system variable, this is one system variable. Okay, so I'm going to use that particular system variable. You don't want to spend a separate time to understand the system variable. System variable is something, a predefined function. It gives the value at the runtime. Okay, and the tabx nothing but whenever the control executes in a loop, I'm saying, so it will keep on increasing the value of the particular tabx. Okay, so we press F5, so now it's 1, and press F5. Okay, and it's going to be 2. So here it is, right? I just came into the loop, so second loop is running. Technically we can say second record. In the index level you can say second loop is running. Now third loop is running, fourth loop is running. So every record has its own index. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to particularly update some records through index. So how I can do is I can introduce a keyword called index. Suppose I'm saying I want to, based on the requirement, okay, it's very rare we are going to hard code the index. So but I'm going to say index 20. I want to update this value only for index 20. So what happens, out of 775 records, it updates the record only for 20th record. And I execute it. So what is the system tabx now? It's 1. Okay, so let's keep on running, and whenever it comes that number 20, it updated it. Okay, so we'll see over here. Just double click AT_material. Everything is 0. The previous version you have seen some values of 40, 20, but everything is 0 over here because we introduced index. So it's updated only the 20th one. So 20th row it's updated 40. Why it's 40? Because it's an else part. I believe it does not satisfy whatever conditions we have given in the if and else if. So it's updated with the else value as 40. Okay, so else part is the value 40. So here you have an option called index, also you are able to use it. You can't use a where condition. You might have a question, can I use a where condition? Where condition is actually not required in this place because you are using a modifier inside a loop. So whenever the current record comes, it's going to update the current record. So you don't want to use a modify with where condition. And one more thing, you're not able to use it. Syntax wise, you're not able to use a where condition. You will get a syntax error. I'm saying where matnr is equal to, for example, 1 2 3, or okay, very specific, I'm going with mat. It doesn't make any sense. I'm adding a material values over here because anyway we are in a loop. So I'm going to check, it says unable to interrupt where. So for modify you're not able to use where as an addition, so you can use only index. Okay, and another interesting part is transporting. So transporting is one of the keyword we can use it. Transporting means suppose I'm updating the values for one more stock. Okay, one more stock field. It starts with LM. Let's see. There is a field LU nothing. Okay, one second. Okay, that is actually UMLME. That is token transfer. Okay, so UMLME. So I want one more field here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have value for that field as well. So MA material UMLME is equal to 20. 40 and 60. Here it is 10. Now my no component execution. Okay, one second, I'll come. Don't worry. Okay, so my intention is I'm updating two values, two fields in a work area, but some reason and some situation I need to update only one field. Okay, maybe after that I need to add both the fields as well. So in that case, you can use the keyword called transporting. So there are two fields is getting updated, and but please transport only one or more than one, whatever you want. Here it is only two. If you want more than one, you can add it over here as well. Okay, so that is the use of transporting. So now what I'm saying is, even if you update in the work area, please don't get into the body of an internal table. So let me comment this modify statement. So that is the use of transporting. We'll see how it's updated in the body of an internal table. Execute. Material fi, which portion is going to execute? Okay, here. So LBAST is 40 and the stock to transfer is 10. Let me check. Go to MAT material. This is the without index. So it's going to update the first record. So here I'm using transporting. So it's going to update only the UMLME field, not your unrestricted stock. Press F5. Modify statement is updated here, but not updated here. So this is the use of transporting. Okay, so transporting you're able to use in modify statement. Next, this is about modify. We'll see about append. So append, I mentioned the difference between append and modify is it's going to add the data at the end of your internal table. Okay, so let me add something manually. Okay, let me come out of it. Then we'll get a little clarity. So I have 775 records. I want to add one more record manually. So I already mentioned if it is a manual intervention, so you need to have a work area to add the data to the body of an internal table. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and I want to add the works as 1000 and LGORT is equal to AG11, some values, and unrestricted stock LBST as 10. Okay, so I don't want to add anything to the last field. Okay, you can skip as well. By default, it will take the default value. So here I'm going to use append statement. Appends material to the body, work area to body. Okay, and clear you have to use, that is actually is a good one. Whenever the scope of your work area ends, use a clear statement. So here it ends, right? Only one record. If someone is going to add, or I'm going to add one more record, automatically it will go to overwrite. So don't let overwrite. I'll give a reason why. Always use clear once the scope of your work area ends. So now we'll see how it reflected in my internal table. So after this append statement, I'm expecting 776 record in my internal table. So internal table is nothing but body of an internal table. So now it's 775. Let me go and stop a control over here. So keep a breakpoint. Yes, and press full execution F8. So now it's 775, and if I press F5, now it's 776. And append is always at the end of your internal table. So last. Here it's added 776th row, my data has been added. This is for append. Now I'm going to use, okay, I'll give one more example because I encountered an issue. Yeah, here you can see it's 10, right? I added only LBAST, but it's added the value for and my second field as well. How it's possible? So this is a very minute issue in the beginning stage because my work area is filled over here. Okay, somehow the value is filled, but it's not cleared. I'm not clearing it. That's what I'm saying. Whenever the scope of your internal, work area is ends, please clear it. Okay, so what happens before this? The work area is filled with 5 fields, but here I'm using only filled with 4 fields. So that is the reason it takes the value from the existing process. Let me show you once again. So clear is very, very important in your ABAP program, especially clearing work area. So let me keep a breakpoint here and execute it. Let's see what is there. W underscore material inside a work area. Somehow the previous process that stock to transfer field is filled with the value 10. So here it's 10, right? It's somehow it's filled with 40, depends 775th row, I believe. It's 40 and LME is 5. And I didn't use clear. In the inside the loop, I didn't use clear. So what happens? I'm going to press F5 now. One by one, line by line. F5, F5, F5. So it's keep on changing the material, works, LGORT, changing LBAST, and it's not clearing it. So it's hold the previous process value that is getting updated in my internal table by mistake. Okay, so it's updated with 10 for my stock to transfer field as well. So what I have to do was you have to use clear. So here my scope is over, right? After modify, I need to clear my work area explicitly afterward it. So now, okay. So now come to this position, full execution. Because of this clear statement, your work area is empty now. It's clear. Okay. So now if you add a value one by one, let me get inside and do F5. F5 material works, storage location, unrestricted stock. So nothing happened to my last field because it's clear. So now if you see your data in the body of an internal table, now it's 0. Okay. So beginners, please always remember the clear is very important for your work area. It's a frequently coming mistake. Just execute it and execute it. So this is for append. Then what is insert? So now instead of append, I'm going to use insert. So both are same. It's going to add the data to your body of an internal table. Insert work area to, insert into work area to body, and you have an option called index. Suppose I want to say I want this to be added in my first line of the body of an internal table. Okay, so that is possible in insert. So insert, you have an option to keep the record anywhere in your body of an internal table. So that's the difference between append and insert. Append is only at the last. Insert, you have an option. You can add wherever you want. So same value I'm going to add in my first row. Add it. Execute it. Same thing, F8 and F8. It comes and stops here. It's fill my work area. So, okay, I should not do this. I cleared and I used this material. So it hopefully it added an empty record. So get the IT underscore material index 1, right? Yeah, it's added the index 1. See, it's added an empty record because I cleared by mistake the work area. Okay. I have to keep it here because the scope is over only after the insert. Back toward it and execute it. So F8, F8, F5, one by one, and this is going to add the record. Go to IT material, so it's added. Okay, so anywhere you can say index 1, 3, 5, whatever you want, you can add it. So that is the difference between insert and append. So now we are going to see delete. So delete you can perform inside as well, or you can perform outside of the loop. So I'm saying delete body, body of an internal table, and you can use here also index. So here it's an open index, so I can use tab by it. So whenever there is a data, so it's actually wide open delete statement. We should not use it. Okay, maybe I can have one where condition, sorry, if condition. If material works is equal to YZ01. I don't want that particular records, so I want to delete it. And okay, so this is a way you can delete the data from your internal table, body of an internal table. The point to be noted, this is just an ABAP, so I explained the basic stuffs. Modify and delete. So you should not use it. Okay, I can say should not recommend to use within the loop. So performance is very worst. Okay, so we'll see how we can do after the outside of the loop as well. But this you remember always. Whenever you get a chance to modify your internal table using modify and delete, please don't do these things. Whatever I have explained, please don't do it. Performance wise is not good. We'll see how we can do outside of the loop as well. Okay, because after you are learning, you have to update the existing program also, so you should know the syntax, how they used it. So let's see now the delete syntax. Delete material index index, so site abex. Okay, and execute it. So total number is 775. Let's see whatever is coming inside this. Keep a breakpoint, press F8. Yes, it comes on tab index. Maybe 367th record is going to delete it. And let's keep on going. That's fine. Take out the breakpoint and press F8. Now only 755 records, 775, and it's decreased to 751. So that much records got deleted. Okay, so this is from inside the loop. Outside of the loop, you can do the delete like this. So instead of this if condition, delete one by one, I'm going to say delete IT material. Maybe before the loop, after the loop, wherever you want. So where works equal to YZ01. So it will delete at one time. It's not every loop, it won't do delete. Okay, it just deleted. It just one time it delete all the records whose plant is YZ01. So this is another way of using delete. Backward. So this is a good one. So performance wise is good. So don't keep delete or modify inside your loop. Execute it. F8. Yep. So total we have 775 records because I commented the delete inside the loop. I'm going to press 1 F5. Now 775 just came down to 751. So that much records got deleted with a single delete statement. So this is the way which you're going to use append, insert, modify, delete for your loop. So now we'll see about control break statements. So the next is control break statements. There are 4 control break statements in ABAP. At first, at last, at new, at end of. We have one more. We'll see a little later. It's like on change of. So we can use it for select as well. So here, this is applicable for body of an internal table. It's going to be within your loop and end loop. You have to use any one of, any of these blocks. Okay, either like normally we use at first, at last, otherwise at new, at end of. Okay, so 4 different blocks. What I'm going to do is we are going to in the loop. So the loop is happening line by line. If a loop has 50 records, it's run for 50 times. So out of 50, based on my requirement, I need to break some of the loop, some of the values or records, and I need to do a validation or I need to add some more values. Whatever you want, you can do it. So basically, I'm going to break the loop statements, okay, used with the help of this blocks. So first I'm going to explain this at first and at last. So it's very easy to understand. So at first will execute. When this will execute, that is the next step we need to know. At first and at new will execute before the first loop of your internal table. Okay. So at first, and we'll stick to these two first, at first and at last. At last will execute at the end of very clearly after the last record of your internal table. Okay, so it's look like this. I have a body of an internal table. It has 5 different records. So at first as executes before the first record of your internal table, at last execute after the last record of your internal table, body of your internal table. I will show you in the system. So it's very easy to understand. Then we'll come to know why at new is in place and what is the use of at end of and at new as well. Okay. So we'll take some example from the existing part. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, let me copy this to another internal table. Material 2 on the flow declaration and material. Okay. So now this both are same, and the content like almost 775 records is going to transfer to another internal table. So on the flow is going to be declared same like this internal table, especially its body of an internal table. So now what I'm going to do is loop at IT material 2 into data. I can use the same work area, but here I'll just use a new one. And here I'm going to use at first. Okay, so this is actually a block. So the block needs to be end. So at first end it. Okay, so here I'm saying right before the loop starts. Loop starts. And I have a write statement. Like I need material, sorry, it's mat2 and matnr, then I need mat2 works. Okay, so time being I just go with only 2 fields, works. And here I'm going to use before end loop, I'm going to use at last. At last, so I need ENDAT and write statement. Before the loop starts, okay, end of the loop. So let's have slash as well. Okay, back toward it and execute it. So nothing in the debugging mode. So okay, I'll show you again. Debugging, you can see at loop it comes 19th line and it goes to 23rd. It not get into at last because this at last will work after your last record. 75th record is crossed, then it works for at last. Okay. And now if you see at first it won't work because it works only one time. So second loop, now the tab index is 2. So second time comes, it won't execute at first block. Okay, if you want you can keep a breakpoint inside the at last, execute full execution. Now you can see the tab index 775. So after the first loop, in the sense whenever the last loop is getting executed, then this at last will execute, the block will execute and full execution. So now you can see before the loop starts and at the end of your report, you can see your end of the loop. So this is at first, at last. So there is no conditions, nothing. It's just a wide open, is very simple. It executes before the first loop, after the last record. Okay. So now I'm going to introduce at new. For that I need PPT. At new, also same like at first. One advantage is you can have a condition in at new. Okay, suppose I want to say whenever there is a new material comes inside the loop, then trigger this block. Same for attend also. Whenever there is a change in the particular field value, then trigger this. So that is a difference between at first and at new, attend and at last. So both are work same, but one condition is at first executes only once, but at new executes whenever there is a new value comes into the particular field. So the syntax would be at new field name ended, at end of field name ended. Okay. So few things to be considered, especially for at new and at end of. Field sequence is very important, and sorting is recommended. It's not mandatory, but it's recommended for the actual result which you are expecting, and data behavior inside the block. So that also you have to keep in your mind. So because some data inside the block, talking about at first, at new, at last, at end, whatever block inside, the value of your work area probably getting jumped. Okay, I will show you why it's getting there. So what is the alternative for the particular option? Okay, so these three you have to keep in your mind very carefully. So now here I'm going to say, okay, let me go with at new of MATNR. So whenever there is a new material comes, so I'm going to say new material found. Okay, and here I'm going to say at end of MATNR. The name should be same of your work area, whatever name, work area field name you have, that should be same. And here end of new material. But here I believe every is a unique materials, so you might have this at new and at new and at last at end of will trigger all the records. Probably you might have duplicates as well because it's a MERD table. Let's see, the same material might be extended for different plant and different storage location, but this is a training system. Let's see how it behaves. Execute. Okay, so if I so loop, it comes now because what is the material? We'll see that one. Let me delete material mat underscore matnr. Okay, so this is a material, that's why it comes inside. That's good. Let's go and sorry, it's get into little other areas. That's fine. Attend also is trigger. Then now it counts. Second time also is get inside. At first it works only one, but at new whenever there is a change. So previously it's one, now it's two. So every time it comes and execute these two blocks. So let me go out of the loop. Let's see the output. See, every line you have the new material found, end of new material. New material found, I didn't use a slash symbol, so that's why it's continuing the same line. So there are everything is a new material only. So how many times it trigger? Maybe you can see I'm going to find Control F and so this much time it's triggered. Okay, so now what I can say is, okay, let's cancel this. I will go with plant. Okay, so what I want is I want to trigger my at new whenever there is a new plan comes. So before going to that, let me understand the coding part. Okay, let me execute it. So let me understand the data. I'm sorry. Let me understand the data, how the data is filled. So material, oh sorry, material 2 is not at filled. One more execution. Yes, it's filled. So let's see there is any duplicates. Oh, okay, yeah. So the plans you have 1710, 1710, and do you have any other plans? Yes, we have C. Okay, we got a lot of changes. So whenever there is a change in works, then my at new will trigger. Okay, that is the expectation. Let's see. And you have to remember the position of your field which you're going to use in your control break statement. The position of my plant is position number 2, second field, right? Okay, let me change this. So new plant found, end of new plant. Act toward it. Execute. So full execution. So let me take out these breakpoints. So new plant found, end of new plant found, but the plant is not changing, but still it's behaving like the previous one. The reason behind this, at new is consider the field from the first position. Even you are mentioning at new plant, but it won't take your second position alone. It will start considering or it start determining that new functionality starting from field one. Okay, so you have to change the field of your position in your internal table. Let me show you. So here, this one, so field sequence. So at new and attend is always start from your or considering the value from your first field. But even though you're saying I want to get based on field to it work, no, it won't work. So that is the way it behaves. So what you have to do is change the field position. If you really want, I want only based on the plant my at new and attend will work, and change the position of your plant to the first field of your internal table, body of your internal table. That is the solution. So always remember this. So what I can do, let me change this, or it will affect the previous ones. So let me take a new select, that's better for me. So here, let me change this. I want to plan first. Maybe I can keep the material here. And this one is for material 2. So no change here. Let me add a new line. Okay, so now works is at your first position of your internal table, active order. So always remember the field sequence is very important while using the control break statements. Even if you keep your at new or fifth position, fifth field, if there is any change happens in previous 4 fields, any one field the values get changed, is automatically triggers the at new position. Okay, so if you have a confidence all the 4 fields is not going to be changed, then you can use your fifth field as a at new field name. Let me execute it. Full execution. Okay, so new plant found, yes, but the display I'm displaying material first, that's fine. And here, where is the end? Okay, here it is. So end of new plant, and here a new plant found. This is for CHP1. That is whenever there is value change at new will trigger. Same for at end of also. Whenever at the end of the new value, then it will trigger your at end of. Okay, so clear about how the control break statements work, all the 4 blocks. So now one more thing is the values. Okay, let me keep the value inside the block. Right, this one I want material 2 GORT and material 2 I want unrestricted stock. And what is that field? U, yes, UML. Okay, let's see how it's display the values inside the block. That is an error. Okay, issue in the format. I think rest all same. Activate. One more. Okay, again format issue. Okay. Activated. Execute. Full execution. See, material plant is okay, and what I'll storage location, and this is it's fine. So normally the value within the block it's getting truncated or it's just getting chunked. So the preferable is, if you want inside a block other than the write statement, you need to access the data from your work area, please copy it to another work area before your block, like this. On the flow, I'm declaring it temporary material work area is equal to WA mat underscore 2. Okay, so inside use that work area name, temporary mat. So better you can change for everything. So not only whatever field is not working. So it may cause some other issue, loss of feed or loss of data. So better use the temporary like new work area inside your block control break statements block. So execute. So now you can find this is actually from the new work area, the first line. It works good. Okay, so please keep this also in your mind. Whenever you need some values to be exchanged or manipulated, or if condition you have to perform inside the control break statement, use a temporary work area. Okay, so play around with this append, insert, modify, delete keywords as well as the control break statements of your internal table. If you have any doubt, please let me know. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.